Right, today we're going to go ahead and do a button replacement for a Spartan Ghost or Go Live camera. It's a pretty straightforward operation. All you really need is a Phillips screwdriver. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll open up the camera, take the SD card out. There we go. And we'll go ahead and remove the power supply battery compartment area. Take these little screws out. Just keep in mind these little screws are much smaller than the case screws. So go ahead and set those off to the side. That way you don't lose them or mix them up with the other pile. We'll just pull this guy off of here. There we go. And we'll go ahead and take these case screws off. This is a pretty straightforward thing. It's not hard to do. You can either leave them in the case there or put them off to the side. Go ahead and get the second one out here. There we go. Can make it a lot easier on yourself if you get like a little automatic screwdriver like the one I have here. Number 3 coming out. And number 4. There we go. That'll take the front case off, front faceplate off the case. Get these little screws out of here. Again, keep these screw piles separate. They are different size screws. It just makes it easier in the long run, so you don't mix them up. Well, that one doesn't want to come out, so we'll just make sure it stays there. Alrighty. Now keep in mind it is connected to the 8-pin connector here. Let's go ahead and take that off. Be gentle with it. Don't want to bend the pins. We'll go set that aside. Now we have access to the back button panel. Now we got to take out these little screws. These are going to be the smallest screws on the whole unit. Smaller than the other ones holding on the battery side. So set these off to the side. These are hard to mix up with the other ones, so easy to find and not to mix up. A couple more to go. Take that off. One more after this, and onto the final screw. All right, after this, the main board for the buttons comes off. Super easy. There we go. That's what it looks like. And just keep in mind the actual switch itself is a separate piece. Just don't lose it. There we go. Grab a new board. There we go. I know, they look identical. They always come like that with a curly Q tail there. Yeah, keep in mind you have that button switch there. That has to sit inside. Yep. Inside of the switch housing. If it doesn't sit perfectly, it will not work. So make sure it is in the right spot. We'll go ahead and make that sure that's in there. You can kind of feel when it's in the right spot. So go ahead and make sure it's in there. It's like I'm doing here, just to double check and recheck. Nothing more frustrating. There we go. Yep, clicks. Nothing more frustrating than getting the whole thing complete and not checking beforehand, then having to go back and redo everything again. And now let's do everything in reverse. And then add all these little screws back. Again, having this automatic screwdriver is so helpful for doing these repairs. Highly recommend. I got a twofer. There we go. Add that back in there. Again, just doing this in reverse here. Pretty straightforward. There we go. That one's done. On to the second to last. There we go. And the last one. Yep, there we go. Get in there. There. All right. Yep, they're all flush. That's all you got to double check. Make sure it clicks over, and it does. Let's reattach it. Yeah, make sure it's in the off position, or, you know, just in case. Go ahead and reapply the pin connector. Just be gentle with it. You'll find that right. There's a sweet spot angle you can get to make everything kind of snap in there. There we go. And before we attach everything, let's go ahead and add the power supply just in case the internal battery's dead, and check the switch. Ah, it turns on. We know the switch works. We'll cycle through here. Yep. Let's go ahead and double check our buttons to make sure our buttons work. Sometimes Spartan does send them new units that don't actually work. It happens. So we always check them before we send them out after repair. So it goes up and down, left, right, A, B, left, right, left, right. Okay. Click it off. Secure this cable. Remember, these are the second to smallest screws, so Don't mix them up with the same screws for the main case. Put these back on there. That one too. Alright, get it. Hey, it's fighting me. It wants to fight. There we go. Nope. I don't want to go.
It was the Cobb's office behind the door.
There we go. Alrighty. Go ahead and add that back into it. And then add this one here. Back to the main case screws. This one here. Like having a slightly magnetized screwdriver does help a lot. It's not heavily magnetized, just enough. There we go. This will be the last one on the table. Remember the other screw kind of got stuck on the case, so that'll stay there. Back in there. And last but not least, the last one. Alrighty. We are all back together again. Put the SD card back in there. And we already checked the button, so we know it works. Alright. Thank you so much for watching.